my lady. Tiberius is here.
You sent for me, Mother?
I sent saying I wished to see you.
I came as soon as I could.
As soon?
I am not master of my time.
Who is then?
The Senate, the army, the law courts, my social duties.
Oh, dear.
Mother, you have always warned me that I would not rise to the highest rank in the empire unless I was more attentive to my social duties.
I have warned you
of many things.
To come when I send for you. When I wish to see you.
My dear Mother, if your message had indicated the nature of your business...
The Emperor is going on a journey.
This I know, to Capri and Naples.
To Planitia, to see his one remaining grandson.
Did he tell you?
If he told me, it wouldn't have mattered so much. It was the fact that he did not tell me.
It may be only... No. If it were a rumor, I would have heard it. My friends are good at bringing me rumors. May I ask how you found out?
Marcia.
My husband has made all the arrangements. The Emperor is to travel in secret, taking no one with him but Solustius Crispus.
This becomes more complex. The Emperor did not tell you his wife, but he entrusted the arrangements to the husband of one of your ladies-in-waiting. It seems he meant you to know.
The Emperor made my husband swear not to tell anyone, not even me, under pain of death.
Then your husband is either a very good friend of mine or a complete fool. Or, of course, both.
Well, perhaps now you understand why my message could not indicate the nature of my business.
Indeed. We don't want your husband to lose his life unnecessarily.
You know the Emperor has been troubled by signs.
Signs?
The lightning that melted the air of his name.
Oh, yes. And the eagle in the campus marshes. He is the most practical man I have ever known and the most absurdly superstitious.
As you are, too.
No, Mother. I believe in astrology, which is an exact science. I am completely free from superstition and all other forms of self-delusion.
The Emperor has come to believe that he will die soon.
He's 75. He may well be right.
And who will succeed to the throne?
I have been led to believe that I shall.
You must.
I'm his stepson, thanks to you, Mother. I'm his adopted heir, thanks to a number of deaths.
There is also one other adopted heir.
Legally, yes, Agrippa.
Tiberius. What are you going to do about Agrippa?
Do? Nothing.
Marcia, leave us.
May I also have your permission to retire? I'm expected at a meeting, and I feel the force of your reprimand as strongly as if you had actually spoken it.
Tiberius, there are two things that stand between you and the throne.
Only two.
One is if the Emperor becomes reconciled to that loutish grandson of his.
Yes. And the second thing?
Your own character.
The second is much the greater obstacle.
I'm so sorry. I'm afraid I haven't got any money. I could have sworn. I did have, because I came out special to, Then I met some friends, and I bought a bottle of wine, and we played dice. You like playing dice, don't you? Except, I suppose, you always win. I'm not the sort of person who wins. Can I ask you something, great uncle? Why do you do it? I mean, squat on the pavement like a beggar once every year. I mean, I know it's because of a dream you once had, but do you really believe in dreams? I think they're just our fantasies. All our hopes and fears. Oh, something out. Higgledy-piggledy. Higgledy-piggledy. Because our minds can't control. control them. I'm sorry.
Go home, Claudius.
I'm sorry, great uncle.
My horoscope for the coming month, as soon as you can cast it, and the horoscope of one other person. You may ask who.
Who, my lord?
The Emperor's grandson, Agrippa Posthumus. You may not ask why. In the usual way, I must threaten you with death if I find you wondering why.
My lord, I've been your faithful servant for 20 years.
You have been my friend.
Thank you.
I'm only sorry that life has taught me to have friends who live in fear of me.
I live in the hope that you will come to trust me.
Your business is to predict. I trust you as a predictor. You've been uncommonly accurate since the time of our first meeting, you remember?
It is my favorite anecdote, my lord.
Tell it to me.
At Rhodes,
20 years ago.
20 years ago, you sent for me to test my skill. You ordered me to cast my own horoscope for that very day. I measured the positions and distances of the stars in accordance with the rules of Chaldean astrology. I was astonished to see that the horoscope showed a great crisis in my life. I stood in immediate and mortal danger. I told you this. I found that I had passed the test. A slave would have thrown me from a cliff into the sea if I had predicted anything else.
It is not quite my favorite anecdote, but I like to hear you repeat it from time to time. Am I too hard on you, Thrasylus?
You've made me a wealthy man, my lord.
I accept the rebuke. Thrasylus, I myself will make not a prediction but a promise. If ever I become head of the Roman Empire,
As you will do.
as I may possibly do, all astrologers will be banished, every one, except you.
You are kind.
No, not at all. We cannot control events, we can only try to foresee them. I want to be the only man in the Empire who has any chance of knowing the future. The horoscopes of Agrippa and myself by tomorrow.
The Emperor Augustus.
No, don't get up. I've no wish to disturb you. Crispus and I have already dined.
Oh, dear.
Good evening, my dear.
Good evening, Crispus. Dear.
Be a good girl and move along, Livilla. Let me sit next to my wife.
Good evening, Crispus.
Good evening, Crispus.
Crispus, give that great lubber a push. Make room for yourself over there.
Nothing to eat. Now, what have you had already?
Oh, Crispus and I sent out for some cheese and a pound of figs. Oh, we're old men. We don't need much these days.
I'm 10 years younger than you, Augustus. Besides, I've been running around town all day on your errands while you've done nothing but squat on your backside.
With my arm extended, the position is painful.
Did you get much money?
I didn't count it, my dear.
What do you do with it?
It goes to charity.
I meant to
Now, do be quiet, Claudius.
I'd like to...
More wine, dear. Crispus, more wine.
Thank you.
to give you some now.
Claudius, you are a fool.
Thank you, Claudius. But at 5 o'clock, I ceased being a beggar and became an emperor again. I no longer need money.
Sorry.
You know, you're becoming a very good-looking young woman these days.
Thank you.
Is it rude to sound surprised, but you were a gawky child?
Yes, I know.
I should have had more confidence. Your family always turn out well, my dear.
All except one.
Sorry.
Claudius is always apologizing for being my brother.
Do you mind if we change the subject?
Not at all.
I understand you're going on a trip. I'd like to wish you a safe return.
Oh, yes.
Oh, thank you, Claudius. The fact is, I was just going to tell you, my dear, there's been a slight change of plan. I'm leaving tomorrow. Crispus has persuaded me.
Oh, yes, for your own good.
Persuaded you?
To spend a day or two at his villa before meeting you in Naples for that terrible festival held in my honor. Crispus thinks I need a rest.
You're quite right, you certainly do. Even I, whom only in my 60s.
Which of your villas, Crispus? You have so many.
The one near Telamon.
Well, of course, you're quite right. It'll do you good, dear, the sea air.
If If you go to Telemine, you can go and see Agrippa Posthumus.
What?
Well, I mean, it's not far. And after all, he is your grandson, your only grandson still alive. I've always wondered. All the rest of us are just stepsons, like Tiberius, and nephews and so on. If I were in your place, I think I would. I'm sorry, I've had too much to drink.
So your heart is softer than mine. No, I shall not see my grandson.
Where is he then?
He'll be here in a moment.
I thought you said he was waiting. That's why I got dressed in a hurry.
He does not wait for people. They wait for him.
He'll be a few minutes, you think?
Perhaps.
I must go in and get a drink. I need something to pull myself together.
You'll stay here.
Who is the Emperor's grandson, me or you?
You're in my charge on the Emperor's orders.
Oh, all right. Clement, you fetch me a drink.
Clemens, go in the house and stay there.
I can't meet him with a hangover like this.
Clemens, go in the house.
You just wait until I'm Emperor. You'll be first, and I'll do it myself.
Sir.
How does he look? My eyes are not what they were.
Nor mine. I'd say he looked in rude health. You may wish to decide that a distant view is enough. I never dare give you advice, Augustus. I sometimes make a suggestion.
Fetch him.
March!
Agrippa.
Grandfather.
Lead us.
Carry on.
I didn't believe I'd ever see you again.
Nor I. But I changed my mind.
Why?
I'm nearly 76. There's not much time left for changing my mind. I have to do it quickly. How is it here?
Dull.
Do they treat you well?
Not badly. Except for that colonel.
And what does he do?
He watches me.
He's under orders to watch you.
As if I were a criminal, and I'm not.
No.
Well, I didn't do anything wrong, not really wrong. I know I used to go around Rome and smash things up a bit and get into fights and so on. But it was no more than the rest of my set were doing. I was no worse than any of them.
You were my grandson.
That's just why they used to egg me on. They used to think with me being your grandson, they could get away with...
My great-uncle Julius divorced his wife Pompeia because she was suspected of adultery. There was no proof. But Julius said Caesar's wife must not even be suspected.
Yes, I know the story.
We Octavians are a new family, middle class, not great hereditary aristocrats like Livia and Tiberius. We have to be careful for the first 100 years.
All right. I suppose I should have behaved better.
Yes.
But honestly, Grandfather, was that any reason for sending me into exile in this dead and alive hole?
I thought so at the time.
Grandfather, I was only 19.
When I was 19, I commanded an army against the men who killed Julius.
Well, that's just it. You had something to do. Why didn't you give me an army?
Why didn't you make me want to give you an army?
You gave my older brothers army commands when they were just about that age. They didn't do badly at it.
They did well.
Until they died. I wouldn't have died. I was stronger than they were. Physically stronger. Always have been. I'll live for 100 years.
Yes. Your brothers were not strong.
You were going to make one of them emperor, weren't you? Gaius, Lucius.
Yes.
They'd made good emperors. Both of them. Except they weren't robust. I think to be an emperor, you have to be physically robust. Look at you. You're not a big man, but you're tough. I mean, you've had dozens of fevers in your life, but you didn't die of them like Gaius or Lucius. I'm sorry to go on about them like this. It's just that I know how much you wanted one of them to be emperor after you, to carry on the family line. Our family. Your own direct descendants. That's what you wanted, wasn't it?
I still want to see my descendants on the throne. Perhaps more than anything.
Oh, don't cry, Grandfather. I didn't mean to make you cry.
Agrippa.
Grandfather. Let me come back to Rome. Well, give me something to do. It doesn't have to be an army, anything. Let me marry a nice girl and give you great-grandchildren. I'm as proud of our family as you are, and I wanted to go on in the direct line.
Agrippa, if you became emperor after my death, what would be the first thing that you'd do?
You mean apart from all the ceremonies and so forth?
I mean your first action as a man who can do or command to be done whatever he chooses.
You see that colonel over there? I don't dislike him because I know he's doing a job. But he isn't respectful enough of our family. I keep telling him I'm your grandson and he doesn't give a damn. He ought to be more respectful. I'd make an example of him to show people.
An example?
I'd have a proclamation read out so that everybody understood why. And then I'd avenge the honor of our family name by killing him. And I'd do it myself.
You have made me wait longer than I wished.
I'm sorry, my lord.
Are the horoscopes so difficult to cast?
The answers are difficult.
Tell me them.
For both you and Agrippa, the coming month is one of great danger.
I understand that perfectly.
What will happen to Agrippa is what he least desires.
I understand. Good.
And what will happen to you, my lord, is what you yourself least desire.
Good.
Yes, I'm here.
Sir Janus?
The Emperor is dying.
But not yet dead.
No.
I see you've taken precautions.
Sir?
Not just the house, the whole area is surrounded by your guards.
Yes.
On whose orders? The Emperor's?
The Empress's.
Ah.
Do you wish to confirm the order, sir?
Of course. No one is to enter the area without my permission, or of course the Empress's.
Sir.
Above all, no one is to leave it.
Until the Emperor dies.
Until it is the moment to announce the Emperor's recovery, or death. Mother?
My messenger's fine.
As you see, Drusus and I have ridden without stopping.
Dismiss. Stand for all the further orders.
The doctors give him a day or two more. He's quite sensible still.
What is he dying of?
Old age. He caught a chill on the boat going over to Capri and he had very bad diarrhea and that weakened him. Then in Naples the same again. Only worse. He hasn't eaten for days now. It only makes him vomit. A little wine mixed with water, that's all. He's worn out. Tired to death.
He's had a longer life than most of us dare expect.
Is that all you can say?
He has, on the whole, been an excellent ruler. What more do you want?
I have been his wife for 50 years.
Yes. I cannot myself remember the moment when you divorced my father and married Augustus, but of course I know the story well enough.
I married Augustus because I loved him.
So you've always told me.
And it's true.
And I believe it, Mother. Who would not love a rising young princeling, the man marked out to be ruler of Rome? Oh, I believe it. The implication is, of course, that I myself was the child of a loveless marriage.
No.
You cannot have it both ways, Mother. Take your choice.
I made my choice 50 years ago. I loved your father until I met Augustus.
And discovered that power is the great aphrodisiac.
Oh, what do you know about it? You've never loved anyone.
You have a long memory for some things, Mother, and a shorter one for others. May I ask, did you bring me in here to discuss our various marriages?
You're a monster.
And I've had every reason to become one. What monstrous act will you urge me to do next?
You must succeed, Augustus.
That is hardly monstrous in itself.
There must be only you who can succeed him.
Mother, I don't think you understand the political and legal situation. I am the obvious successor, the Emperor's adopted heir.
So is Agrippa.
Agrippa has been exiled for scandalous behavior. This, in effect, though I agree not in law, cancels his adoption.
Agrippa is a menace to you so long as he remains alive.
May I continue for a moment? The question of who actually is to inherit will be decided by one thing only. Indeed, has already been decided by Augustus's will. Do you happen to have read it?
No.
Nor I. But all this has nothing to do with the question of who becomes emperor, if anyone. The imperial powers are conferred by the Senate.
The Senate will do what they're told.
Yes, that's true. At least most of them will. They've got in the habit.
And there must be only one they can choose.
I imagine they will choose Augustus's heir, who could be myself, or one of my nephews, Germanicus.
No, not yet.
Or Claudius.
That imbecile?
Or, of course, the lineal descendant of Agrippa.
Stop talking like a provincial lawyer. Talk like a practical man.
I have done so.
Augustus did visit Planatia.
But did not tell you?
No, not he, nor Crispus. Crispus serves the emperor, oh no. I have a spy in the guard. He says he saw Agrippa and Augustus weeping on each other's necks.
They seem to be reconciled?
They seem to be reunited. Now, Augustus has too much sense to give the empire to that moron. But if on his deathbed he should pardon him and release him...
As he might.
Then Agrippa will most certainly claim the throne and try to seize it.
Yes.
Kill Agrippa.
Mother, you must wait and see what the emperor decides.
Drink. Has Tiberius come?
He arrived late last night. You were asleep.
Fetch him. Mirror. So that's what I look like on my last day alive.
You don't yet know it will be your last.
I know. Crispus, as soon as I am dead, you will carry out my instructions.
To the letter.
Without telling anyone what those instructions are.
I understand.
You will merely tell them the result. Swear that you will do this.
Caesar, I'm a man who carries out instructions.
Nevertheless.
Very well, if you insist, I swear.
By what?
By your own power over the known world, which is the greatest thing I know.
Did Tiberius come alone?
He brought his son.
Drusus. Pity.
He can be sent away. I'm full of good excuses.
No, let him stay as he's here. He can learn to practice disappointment.
And Tiberius?
I'll see him privately. Tell Sejanus to give orders to the guard. We must not be interrupted, not even by Livia.
She will not be pleased.
She's a good wife. She knows when to obey.
Caesar, good morning. Good morning, Crispus.
Good morning, Tiberius, and for the moment, goodbye.
Is it pointless to ask after your health?
You've heard that I'm dying. The report is correct.
I'm glad you take it so calmly.
I take most things calmly.
It's one thing we have in common.
Oh, other things too. You are a brilliant administrator.
Second only to you.
And our most successful general.
Since you gave up generalship?
Oh, stop flattering me.
Same to you, Caesar. I shall think you want something from me.
Can a dying man want?
Yes. Most of all. Was it you who brought me here at the gallop, or was it my mother?
My message sent by Livia, I knew that she would find you more urgently than anyone else.
Is it any less urgent now, or would you like to get down to business?
Business?
Now, I take it you want to inform me of some details in the management of affairs.
Well, you've been second man in the Empire for 10 years now. You know those details as well as I do.
There's always something the first man conceals from the second man.
Only one thing. And that is hardly a detail.
Caesar, I'm doing my best to avoid the question of the succession.
Why are you calling me Caesar and not Augustus as usual?
It suits you today, Caesar. The family name has come to me, not king, but more than king, great ruler, emperor, because of Julius and then you. If things had gone differently, a different name might have taken that meaning.
But things did not go differently.
You remember my father proposed in the Senate that Julius's assassin should be rewarded and then fled and fought against you?
But I forgave him.
For a consideration.
No. I simply forgave him. At the time, it was the sensible thing to do. When I married your mother, he forgave me.
And shortly afterwards died.
A natural death.
Oh, yes, I agree. It was all totally natural.
When I first met your mother, I was 24. Married to a middle-aged woman who nagged me. I'd been at the war since I was 19, Civil War. You're too young to understand what that means. It means that when you win a battle, you kill 1,000 of your own old friends. The flower of your own country's manhood.
Clichés from your own old speeches, Caesar.
I met Livia. She was the most beautiful woman I had ever seen. And she had the strength of character I needed to support me through the war.
You should also mention that her family was one of the oldest in Rome with great political influence.
Yes.
Which did much to further your career.
Oh, yes.
You were born under a lucky star, Caesar. Ambition and pleasure have walked hand in hand.
Yes, that's true.
I have not been so fortunate.
Why are you behaving like this, Tiberius?
I think you are going to offer me the succession to your throne, and I have no desire to become emperor.
Whom do you suggest?
No one.
An empty throne?
No throne at all. Rome was a republic before the Caesars came along. Let it be a republic again.
You surprise me. I would never have thought of you as a sentimental fool.
Today I am full of surprises.
I put an end to 60 years of civil war. The Romans no longer wanted a democracy. They wanted good government, stability, order, peace.
And the price they paid was the absolute rule of one man.
That is the price. I've given them 40 years of peace. It's not enough. That's why I am not offering you the succession.
What?
You want it then?
No.
Nevertheless, I am commanding you to be the next emperor. It is your duty. You will continue what I have begun.
I am not you.
Oh, the best available substitute. You did ask me not to flatter you. Have I caught you with the word duty?
Augustus.
Thank you.
I am 55.
You're strong. I give you another 20 years.
I should prefer to spend them in retirement.
But you won't. You'll spend them giving Rome another 20 years of peace.
And getting Romans accustomed to the thought that it is normal to be ruled by an emperor, not just one Augustus, but others after him.
It's the best thing for them. They'll soon get used to it.
A royal line.
You can call it that.
For how many generations? An infinite number.
You will be succeeded by your nephew, Germanicus.
Ah, yes.
Whom you have made your adopted heir.
At your request, or shall I say your command?
Yes, I'm sorry for your son, Drusus, but he will have to be content with second place.
As I was.
It's all stated in my will. You, my heir, Germanicus, yours.
And Germanicus, of course, will be succeeded by one of his sons?
Of course.
The whole thing is clear to me now. Thank you, Caesar.
Caesar?
May I catch you with the word dynasty? My son and I are not of your blood. Germanicus is on his mother's side. But more importantly, his wife is your granddaughter. His children are your descendants. When one of them succeeds to the throne, the line of emperors will run straight again, direct from Augustus the First. Meantime, I am the best available substitute, the most convenient stopgap.
You put it harshly.
It is my manner.
You always had an unfortunate manner.
It suits me.
Do you disapprove of what I have decided?
It is not in my power to change your will. If I am your heir, I am your heir.
And I still don't know what you're thinking, or what you propose to do.
My lady, the Emperor is asking for you. And for all his friends.
I wish your brother had come.
Germanicus?
He's 1,000 miles away with his army. No, the other one.
You mean Claudius?
He amuses me.
Yes, he is funny.
But he isn't always a fool.
Oh, my dear.
It's not far off now. Kiss me. I have always loved you. And I you. Never forget whose wife you have been. Is that
Drusus and Sejanus.
Come here, Drusus. You must marry your cousin, Livilla. She's a pretty girl.
Caesar.
Is your father here? Tiberius.
Augustus.
Drusus must marry Livilla.
Whatever you command.
Sejanus. See the Praetorian Guard. Serve my successor, as well as they have served me.
I swear it, Caesar.
Have I played my part in the comedy of life reasonably well?
Admirably well.
Then you must applaud me. Applaud.
Nothing is finally decided.
What did you say of the couple?
We did not even mention his name.
Oh.
The Emperor is dead.
Peacefully?
Without pain.
I'm glad. He had a horror of pain, which is surprising considering how much he inflicted. Did he utter any dying words?
Just before he died, he cried, 40 young men are carrying me away.
40 young men? The servants heard this?
Yes.
They're bound to repeat it sooner or later. So we must make it come true for the sake of legend. 40 young men of the Praetorian Guard will carry Augustus on his last journey through Rome. I'll tell Sejanus to arrange it. Nothing else? No prayers for Rome? No words of wisdom?
None.
Good. Dying messages make inconvenient quotations. Thank you, Crispus.
I must tell you immediately, I have instructions given to me by Augustus to be carried out as soon as he is dead.
Then you must carry them out.
To do so, I must leave no doubt.
You have my permission.
And make a journey quite a distance.
I take it the instructions are secret?
Yes.
Then you must carry them out secretly.
Tiberius, I was the Emperor's most loyal helper.
Yes. Why?
I'm a natural civil servant. I serve faithfully whoever is in power.
I believe it, but again, why?
Augustus being dead is no longer Emperor. If you wish me to disclose what those instructions are, I shall feel compelled by a new loyalty to a new ruler.
You are not yet justified in making assumptions. My deepest condolences. Crispus, you may leave on your journey.
A journey? Where to?
Crispus has secret instructions given him by the late Emperor.
What instructions?
Mother, you should not ask, and he must not answer.
Where are you going?
Livia.
To Agrippa?
I have made a suggestion to Tiberius.
And I have rejected it.
Crispus, you have certain arrangements to make before your journey. Come back and see us before you leave. He's going to Planasia to see Agrippa.
That may or may not be so, I don't know.
Augustus's one failing was this mad fondness for his family.
I'm sorry to hear you speak ill of the dead when the death is so recent.
Tiberius, be practical.
I have I've just lost my only superior. I am now the most practical man in the world.
Not everyone loves you.
No one loves me, Mother.
If Agrippa is released...
We don't know yet that the instructions concern Agrippa.
If Agrippa is released, your enemies will band together, form a rebellion, using Agrippa as their figurehead. Yes. Not because they love Agrippa, merely to get rid of you.
Given your premise, the conclusion is undeniable.
Do you know how Augustus made himself emperor and kept himself emperor?
I have an idea.
By killing every other possible emperor.
As I said to someone else very recently, I am not Augustus.
No, you don't deserve to be emperor.
Men seldom get what they deserve.
Crispus offered to show you his orders.
And I refused his offer.
Do you know what Augustus would have done? He would have read those orders, torn them up, and written his own in 2 words, kill Agrippa.
Yes, that's what he would have done.
Then why don't you?
He would have done it because he believed that Rome and the Empire needed to be ruled by one man alone for their own good.
Yes.
He continued to believe this right up to the moment of his death.
And it's true.
It's what he believed. I proceed by different methods. I let events take their course. Guard! Tell your commander I wish to see him.
Sir?
Once again, I must make up for your deficiencies.
In what way?
If you don't do what has to be done, then I will.
Mother, you have to learn that an ex-empress is held in the greatest respect, is venerated, if possible, even more highly than before, but is not accorded any new powers.
Tiberius, I am ready to leave.
My mother and I wish you a pleasant and successful journey.
I have here the sealed orders given to me by Augustus.
Would you mind waiting one moment, Crispus? I should like other witnesses.
For what?
Janus, guard, stay here. Crispus and his servant have my permission to leave.
Yes, sir.
He tells me that he carries sealed orders given him by the late emperor.
The late?
No one knows what these orders are except for the man who is dead and possibly Crispus himself, which is something I would not dream of asking. I have been telling Crispus that he must not reveal to anyone what these orders are, least of all to me, neither now nor in the future. Not even if I seem to wish it or command it. You understand me, Crispus?
At least I obey.
Off you go.
See them out to the sentries. The Emperor is dead.
A few minutes ago.
My deepest regrets, my lady. Is the news official?
It's official within this area.
I was wondering if I should withdraw the sentries.
Double them. I want even greater security precautions than before.
Sir?
I'm sending messengers to Rome to say that the Emperor slept soundly tonight and is as well as can be expected.
I know Augustus never thought much of me, but... Drusus! Why can't I see the Emperor?
What?
After all, I am a member of his family, and there's things I still want to ask him to do, talk to him about. I've never had enough chance to talk to him.
He's dead. He died last night.
And that's why you can't see him.
But in the town, they say...
No one knows it, except the people here.
Why? What's Tiberius up to?
What do you mean, up to? He's just waiting, that's all.
For what?
For the right moment to make the announcement. There are arrangements to be made, and you know my father. I have the greatest respect for his judgment, but his mind moves oh so slowly.
So slowly you think he's standing still. And then suddenly you look around and you're the one that's behind. He's miles ahead of you.
Guard!
Good evening, Agrippa.
Good evening.
I hope you are as well as when I saw you a few weeks ago.
I'm all right.
I bring you greetings from a number of your friends.
From my grandfather?
I come from Nola, where the Emperor stopped on his way back from Naples.
Get on with it.
You may have heard the Emperor was not in the best of health.
Yes.
While at Nola, his condition...
Is he dead?
Thank you for helping me. I was trying to find a way to break the news to you gently.
What's that, his will? What's he left me?
An instruction written by Augustus in his own hand.
What does it say?
Shortly before his death. I am to read it out to you.
I can read too.
I must do as the Emperor ordered. Forgive me a moment while I break the seal.
Well?
The message is short and simple. It says, as soon as possible after my death, Agrippa Posthumus is to be killed by the Colonel of the Guard.
Help me, Clemens! Help me! I can pay you! I can reward you! Ah! I am the Emperor's grandson!
In your shoes now, Augustus would be in Rome, gathering up all the threads of power into his own hands.
Oh, yes. Partly by charm, which I have not got, and partly by the swift, cold-blooded elimination of any rival, which is something that I cannot do. I am slow and cautious.
Too slow.
Possibly, we shall see.
You, my child. I can't believe it.
Mother, you have had many years as the partner of an absolute ruler. You've got in the habit of commanding. Do this and it's done. I've spent my life like an actor waiting off stage for a cue that may never be spoken. I've got in the habit of waiting. But I've studied the rest of the cast, and I know Augustus's character better than you ever did.
Crispus has returned.
Ask him to see me in here. Bring him yourself. And Drusus. I want Drusus here as well.
Yes, sir.
Why, Drusus?
Drusus is, with myself, a member of the Senate Standing Committee. There may be a matter for the Senate.
Who cares about the Senate?
Even your husband preserved the outward forms of democratic government. I myself hope to have a hand in restoring its ancient powers.
Are you even more devious than I think you are?
What a difficult question. I suppose the answer is no. I am simplicity itself. If only you could understand simplicity.
Tiberius, my lady.
I'm glad to see you safely returned.
I am the bearer of bad news.
What?
Wait. Come in, Drusus. Crispus is about to tell us some bad news.
A misfortune affecting a member of the late Emperor's family.
I'm already sorry to hear it.
Agrippa Posthumus, while attempting to escape from his confinement on Planasia, was accidentally killed by the Colonel of the Guard.
Accidentally?
I gather that Agrippa was violent and that the Colonel, in effect, killed him in self-defense.
The death of Augustus's grandson is an event that cannot be passed over lightly. I find it difficult to believe that it was an accident. I think it more likely that the killing was done on instructions from someone in authority. I myself gave no such instructions.
I'm sure no one could possibly suspect you of that.
Some people will. However, I do not even know of any such orders having been given. Crispus, were you in Planasia at the time of Agrippa's death?
I was there immediately afterwards.
Do you know of anyone having given instructions to have Agrippa killed? If so, you must reveal it. I command you to reveal it.
I know nothing.
Then perhaps I'm wrong in my suspicion.
I'm sure you are.
I'm not at all sure, but of course I hope that I'm wrong. Drusus, you with me are a member of the Senate Standing Committee. Do you think that this matter should be reported to the Senate for a full investigation?
Yes, I do.
I agree. When we get back to Rome, we shall ask the Senate to appoint a committee of inquiry. Good night, Mother. Good night, gentlemen.
Tiberius, a man like myself, a minor figure, a footnote in the pages of history, does sometimes feel impelled, not of course to give advice, but to make a suggestion. Particularly a man who finds himself in a situation when it is equally improper to lie as to speak the truth.
What truth?
There are certain truths which are better not known. Certain things which are better kept hidden. Good government has a number of necessary secrets. But if everything were made public, if everything were the subject of open investigation, it might lead to a serious weakening of respect for authority. I once learned bookkeeping, and I assure you the accounts only come right when the accountant himself is the auditor.
You may be right. I shall think about it. Would you be good enough to find my secretaries and bring them to my room? Perhaps you could help me. I must send messages to Rome.
Saying?
Saying that Augustus is dead, and that for the time being, at least, the command of the Roman Empire devolves upon me.